What's going on, everybody? My name is Chris. Welcome to the channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be going over 10 albums that changed my life forever as a guitar player. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. All right, I've been playing for a little under 14 years, and there's been a lot of great albums. And I'm going to go over 10 albums that really changed my life. Starting off, we're not going in any particular order. We have Back in Black by AC/DC. Now, if you haven't heard of Back in Black or the album Where Have You Been Living, it's one of the greatest albums of all time. It was released in 1980. This was the first album to feature Brian Johnson after the passing of Bon Scott. And they already had these songs written. Bon Scott wrote a lot of these songs, and they took this into a whole new direction. AC/DC was good before, but now they're really good. They went from light to moderate rock to hard rock. This is where they transition into that. They have a bunch of great songs on there. Back in Black, TNT, Shoot to Thrill. There's so many great songs on there. I love Brian Johnson's gnarly vocals. I love the dual guitars of Malcolm and Angus, and I love the bass tracks and the drum tracks. And this is just an overall great album. And it was featured prominently in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because Iron Man was a huge fan of it, and they were playing it. Obviously, they had contracted to play it, but Iron Man liked AC/DC. Moving on, we have another Black album, which is the Black Album by Metallica. And I know, before you click away or you type, oh, that's not as great as other... All right, this is my list. And I do have another Metallica album on here, so don't you worry. But I personally love the Black Album. Released in 1991, there are so many great songs on this track. There's Enter Sandman, Of Wolf of Man, The Unforgiven. There's Sad But True. There's so many great songs on here. And I know that they're not like previous albums, but I personally like this a lot. This is what really got me into dabbing into more heavier metal. Because at this point I was listening to AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Kiss, etc. So I was listening to classic rock, classic hard rock. And I wasn't really listening to metal. I remember every day after school, I was coming home, I played Killzone for the PS2, and I was playing this album on loop while I was killing people, and it was great. Now, granted, I was playing against bots, so I probably was trash, and I know I'm trash now. But I played this album extensively, and it really influenced me playing heavier down-picking chords, and I just love the dual guitar work of Kirk and James. Now, I did say I have another Metallica album on here, and for me personally, I think this is the best Metallica album. This is, whenever someone says thrash, this is the album that I think of. Whenever someone says the best Metallica album, I think of this album. Of course, it's Master of Puppets. Now, do I really need to say anything about this? I mean, just Master of Puppets alone influenced me in ways that I couldn't understand. I've listened to bits and pieces of each song here and there throughout my years, but it wasn't until recently, like in the last couple years, where I actually listened to this album from start to finish, not skipping anything, and I was blown away. I now understand why people say the Master of Puppets era was the best era of Metallica. For me, it's my favorite album by them. Man, just Master of Puppets, like you just start with dun 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 dun. I'm like, oh, so we're doing that now. Okay. I just love all the ferociousness. I love the guitar picking and all that. And I even love the breakdown around the halfway mark there. It just slows it down. It's kind of chill, but then it gets right back into it. And obviously, Master. That's such a great album. Man, I can go on, but we don't have time. All right, so I said that the Black Album by Metallica was the album that really started me getting and dabbling into heavy metal. This album, by my favorite metal band, I don't care what anyone says, really got me into heavy metal and alternative metal, metalcore. And this is Scream, Aim, and Fire by Bullet For My Valentine. Now, this is one of the greatest albums I've ever heard. It has Scream, Aim, and Fire. It has Waking the Demon. It has Hearts Burst into Fire. It has Deliver Us From Evil. And it has so many great songs. And even one of the songs that I learned by ear on accident was Forever and Always. I accidentally learned that, granted in E standard instead of drop C. But it's such a great album. I love watching the music videos because that's when they were still coming out with music videos like on TV and whatnot. And Scream, Aim, and Fire, and it was just such a great aesthetic. I love the guitar work. I love everything. Waking the Demon is probably the most insane song on this album. Such a great song, and I was even watching the music video last night, and I got so many vibes from high school. I was thinking, yeah. And this album just, it's so good. Now, this next album from Bullet For My Valentine, I don't know if I want to say this is the best album or if Scream, Aim, and Fire is the best album. For me personally, these two are my top two favorites, and that is The Poison. Now, I love The Poison. This is what really got people talking about Bullet For My Valentine back in high school. And man, there's so many great songs. There's obviously The Poison. There's Four Words to Choke Upon. There's Suffocating Under Words of Sorrow. There's Room 409. There's so many great songs. Heck, even the intro, literally titled Intro, featuring Apocalyptica, was really cool. I love the ambiance and then the searing guitar lead. I love it. This album is just pure raw, and it's just in your face, and it's angry. And I like the sound of it. And so I don't know what's better. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Scream, Aim, and Fire or Poison? That's going to be the question that I'm going to have you guys answer. Scream, Aim, Fire or Poison? Now we're going to take a break from metal, and we're going to go back to rock, hard rock. And in 1987, you guys should already know what this album is. One of the greatest albums of all time. It is Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City, Night Train, Mr. Brownstone. Do I really need to go on about this album? Not really. If you haven't heard of this album, then you might want to check your pulse, because this is regarded as one of the greatest rock albums of all time. Now, I don't care what you say. I love Guns N' Roses. I love Slash playing. He may not be the most technical, but I love his playing. I love his sound, and he plays Les Paul. I mean, for me, that wins points already. But I love how they came out like, oh, there's hair metal, there's pop, and we were like, screw that. We're not doing that. We're gonna dress like biker thugs, and we're gonna rock out. And they were kind of the bridge between hard rock and heavy metal, because at that time thrash was really starting to get going with Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, and a bunch of other great bands. But they were kind of the bridge. I consider them the bridge. They're not metal, but they're not, traditional rock either. They bring a little bit of energy, and I like it. Obviously, we've already went over some of the titles, and this is always going to be one of my favorite albums of all time. Now, this next album, strap yourselves in, because I'm going to talk a bit on this one. This next album, released technically in 1987, and I didn't start listening to this, I think, until 2017, 2018. And since then, I've probably listened to this album about 50 times. Ozzy Osbourne Tribute Album. Now, if you have not heard this album, stop what you're doing right now. I'm okay if you leave the video right now and you look up this album. This is literally the live shows that Randy Rhoads played with Ozzy Osbourne in the few years that he was there. They make it sound like it's a continuous concert, but it's not. And oh man, Randy Rhoads, I think he's my favorite guitar player. He's my favorite guitar player. Just listen to the intro to Crazy Train. All that he was doing, I love what he did with his Les Paul. He made he took off the volume of the neck and he made a kill switch. Billy Gibbons does that as well. And his searing guitar solos and just the sound is so incredible. And honestly, one of my favorite songs about that album is his acoustic song D, which he written for his mother. It's such a beautiful song. I started learning it I need to get back into it, but you definitely need to check out this album. This album will blow you away because Randy Rhoads and even all of the band is incredible. All right, so I'm actually a Christian, in case you didn't know that. So I do listen to Christian music as well. And there's one Christian artist who I listened to his album and I was really impressed. That is Lincoln Brewster's Today Is the Day. Now he plays a gold, I think a 63 Fender Stratocaster, and man, does he shred on that thing. It is unbelievable what he can do. If you are looking for some good Christian rock music, look up Lincoln Brewster and look up his album Today Is the Day. Obviously, we have Today Is the Day, which is the title track. One of my favorite songs on there is Let Your Glory Shine. It is an insane intro, especially considering he's doing this on the Strat. There's all sorts of great songs on this album, and I like it because it is worshipful, but it also has guitar work that's not just flashy, but colorful. He's adding like some intricate jazz chords and voicings, and I really like this. You should definitely check out this album. The next album is from Christian heavy metal or progressive metal, however you want to consider them, Wolves at the Gate, Captors. Now, I first heard them when I was playing at my home church. We were doing songs, and they were playing this song called Man of Sorrows. Now, if you listen to Man of Sorrows by Hillsong, it is completely different. This song is, the guitar work is beautiful. I love the melodies. I love all the screaming. I love everything about this. They also have Dead Man. They have Step Out to the Water, and so many great songs. Please check out this album. If you're looking to see Christian heavy metal or progressive alternative metal, you will not be disappointed. I was very surprised when I heard this. And the final album that really changed my life was Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold. I first heard this album when I was actually watching some Call of Duty Zombies YouTubers play through Origins, and they had Shepherd of Fire. It's da-dun, da-dun. And I was thinking, whoa. I've listened to Avenged Sevenfold before. Obviously, City of Evil, one of the best albums ever, Beast and Harlot. But I heard this, and I'm thinking, okay. And after dun, 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 I was like, okay, it's about to go down. But I love the song. It obviously has Hail to the King, This Means War, which kind of sounds like a Metallica song, but I still like it. I love the energy behind the guitars and the vocals. I love everything about this. This is such a great album. If you haven't listened to it, check it out. So those are 10 albums that changed my life forever as a guitar player. What do you think of these albums? Have you listened to them, or have you even never heard of them? Don't forget the question, which is, which album do you like better or think is better from Bullet For My Valentine? The Poison or Scream, Aim, and Fire? Or if you have another suggestion, whether it be the Hand of Blood EP, whether it be Fever, Temper, Venom, or even Gravity, let me know in the comment section below. Share this video with friends, and I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching my video. If you want to follow me on social platforms, they're right there. If you'd like to subscribe, there's a little red button in the corner right there. If you want to see more videos, hit this video right here, or maybe this playlist. Above all, remember, rock on.